Digestion. What is digestion? It is the breakdown of large, complex organic molecules into smaller components that can be used by the body. Molecules need to be small enough to diffuse across the plasma membranes. So, digestion is again of two types, a mechanical digestion and chemical digestion. Mechanical digestion. It occurs in the mouth and also in the stomach. It is the physical breakdown of the mouth in the food. The smaller pieces of food increases the surface area for digestion, and further physical digestion takes place in the stomach. What is chemical digestion? It is the use of enzymes to chemically break down complex food substances into their simplest form. For example, starch into maltose. So, where all does the chemical digestion occur? Digestion of carbohydrate and protein takes place in both mouth and small intestine, whereas the digestion of fat takes place only in the small intestine. What are the steps of digestion? It includes ingestion, that means consumption. Then digestion, that is the chemical breakdown of large molecules into smaller components. Then absorption, the transport or delivery of the digested nutrients to the body tissues. Then assimilation, it is the conversion of absorbed food into the substance of the body. And finally egestion, it is the elimination of food waste material from the body. Once the food is ingested, the teeth masticates the food into small pieces to increase the surface area for digestion. The saliva moistens and softens the food. Tongue mixes the food with saliva and rolls the food into a bolus before it is swallowed. The saliva, which is secreted from the salivary glands, it is composed of water, mucus and salivary amylase, which helps in digestion. Then the bolus tracks into the esophagus. Here it secretes mucus. The esophagus allows the food from the throat to the stomach using muscle movement, which is called peristalsis. So in this esophagus, if acid gets accumulated from the stomach, we get a condition called heartburn. So once the food has passed through the esophagus, it gets into a J-shaped muscular bag that stores the food. This is the stomach. Here the food gets broken into tiny pieces and it gets mixed with the digestive enzymes that contain the enzymes to break down proteins and lipids. Acid in the stomach kills the bacteria. The food which is found in the stomach is called chyme. What are the other functions of stomach? It helps in the storage of food. It helps in the production of intrinsic factor, which is very important in absorption of B12 at the small intestine. It helps in the digestion of protein, in controlling the proper amount of food leaving the stomach for the small intestine, and also stomach helps in producing the hormone gastrin, which helps in pepsin and hydrochloride production and also helps in the bile production in the liver. It also acts as buffering the food condition if it is too alkaline by secreting the HCl. Then once the food leaves the stomach, it goes into small intestine. It is a roughly 7 meters long tubular structure. So it has many projections called villi, which will further increase the surface area. The villi are further covered with the structures called microvilli, which will again increase the surface area for absorption of the food particles. The majority of the chemical digestion occurs in the first of the three sections of the small intestine, which is known as the duodenum. The other two are jejunum and ileum. This duodenum also contains an opening from the bile duct and pancreatic duct through which bile and pancreatic enzymes enter the small intestine. Food enters the small intestine as a semi-solid mixture which we have already known as chyme. The chyme is acidic due to the hydrochloride in the stomach, so it needs to be neutralized. The presence of chyme in the small intestine triggers the conversion of prosecretin into secretin, which is absorbed into the bloodstream and carried to the pancreas. After the small intestine, the food passes into the large intestine, which is about 5 feet long. Whatever the materials which are not absorbed in the small intestine, they get absorbed in the large intestine. Finally, the food passes into rectum, which is a short-term storage area which holds the feces before it is expelled finally. And finally, the anus. The human anus is the external opening of the rectum. Its closure is controlled by sphincter muscles. Feces are expelled from the body through the anus during the act of defecation, which is the primary function of the anus. So there are certain other accessory organs which help in digestion. They are the salivary glands, the liver, gallbladder and pancreas. Salivary glands, as we have already known, that they secrete water, mucus and amylase, which helps in the digestion. Liver is another accessory organ of the digestive system that is constantly producing a fluid known as bile. It is stored in the gallbladder until it is needed in the small intestine. Once the food reaches the small intestine, the presence of lipids in the small intestine trigger the release of a hormone known as cholecystokinin, which triggers the release of bile from the gallbladder. Bile contains bile salts that emulsifies the fats, which means it breaks them into smaller droplets so that they can be digested. Other accessory organ is pancreas. It releases chemicals to aid in digestion. Secretin will stimulate the pancreas to release a solution containing bicarbonate ions into the small intestine, where it will neutralize the acidic chyme and raise the pH from 2.5 to about 9. This inactivates the pepsin. Amylase enzymes are released from the pancreas that break the large carbohydrate chains into small chains called disaccharides. Then the small intestine releases disaccharide enzymes which breaks those small chains into individual sugars which can be easily digested. Other enzymes like trypsinogen and erepsins are also produced by the pancreas, which will aid in the digestion of proteins and amino acids. So, carbohydrates. In the process of digestion, the initial parent molecule is the polysaccharide, which will combine with water and with the help of the pancreatic amylase, they will get dissolved into disaccharides. So, this disaccharides with the help of disaccharidase enzymes from the intestine will further break down into monosaccharides, which can be digested, which can be absorbed. Like carbohydrates, the proteins also, with the help of trypsin and chymotrypsin, they break down into protein fragments. These fragments now combine with the aminopeptidases from the intestine and they break down into amino acids, which can be absorbed by the body. Now, absorption. The passage of digested food from the digestive tract into the tissue or into the blood and lymph is called absorption. The glucose, fructose, galactose, they are absorbed by the microvilli by active transport, which then leaves the cell and directly enters into the capillaries of the body. The amino acids, they cross the epithelial cell membrane by active transport and then enters the capillaries. the water, vitamins, minerals which are present in the food, they will be directly absorbed by diffusion without any digestion. All these absorbed food molecules will be transported to the liver by the hepatic portal vein. From the portal vein, it reaches the liver. The liver here stores or alters the products of digestion. The products are finally released from the liver into the general blood circulation. The fatty acids and glycerols, after absorption, they pass into the epithelial cells and they recombine with the fat in the epithelial cells and finally enter the lacteals. The lacteals contain lymph. So these fat, they combine with the lymph and form the chyle. The lymphatic vessels discharge chyle into the bloodstream. This is the fate of fatty acids and glycerol. And after all this processing, all the digestion, absorption, the restover material which is present in the large intestine, it will further go into the rectum and is defecated through the anus. So this is the brief physiology of the digestive system.